I'm working in the New Perspectives Access 2007 textbook, and this is part 2 in a series on fast report writing. I'm in tutorial 7. And if you've watched the first part of this series, you see that I've missed a few steps, and I'm going to add some of those right now. And one of the things I'm going to do is add a sort, and I'm going to sort on invoice date. Also, what they want us to do here is they want us to hide duplicate values. Be careful when you're hiding duplicate values. Hide duplicate values on a sort field. That makes sense. And see, I already had that turned on here. But if you're just simply hiding duplicate values, sometimes it looks like the data is missing. But on a sort field, it makes sense because you'll see a series and then you'll see several underneath the series and then without a date. And so you can make the assumption that it's the same date. But just be careful of hiding duplicate values. Next thing that I want to do here is I want to add I want to save that. I want to align these two fields. So I'm going to come in here and align left. Then I want to select the community meetings and I want to change that to bold. And I've got all sorts of space on this row, and so I can make sure that field is long enough so that it's not going to cut off any values in that field. I'm going to save again. Next thing it wants us to do is it wants us to bring in a page number, a time and date. And I'm going to choose the short date. And I'm going to make sure that it doesn't include the time, and I'll click OK. It looks like it's popped into my report, and it has, but it is in my report header, not in my page header. There's no room for it to fit in my page header, so what I have to do is I have to move these controls down a bit, and then I can grab any one of them, get the move handle. I want to get a move handle over here, not this one. That's a dangerous one. Let me get the move handle here. And I'm just going to bring those down, and I'm going to leave room below them because I'm going to add a line. So I better bring that up just a little bit. Gives me some space in that area. I'm going to grab my date, grab it, and move it over here so it aligns with invoice date. Bring it in a little bit. It doesn't need to be that tall or that long. And I'm going to left align it. Because what I've done there now is I've started to define my margins. The other change that I made between series actually is I left align my invoice date label and my invoice date text. They were sitting over here like this. Let's see if I can reproduce that. See, I've moved over the invoice date. I'll move over this as well. And so they were sitting looking like this. But that kind of gives ragged margins here, so I'm going to move them over to the left and define my margin. Next thing I want to do is I want to add my page number. That's easy. Page number is going to want to go into a page header or footer. I'm going to do page N of N. I'm going to do in the header, and I'm going to align it to the right, and it's just going to pop in there to the right. The problem with it, and I'm going to make it a little shorter here, is that it aligns to the left. So it's align it to the right, bring it off the page margin a little bit. And so we're starting to, again, define that left or that right page margin. Okay, then I'm going to bring in my title. And it's going to pop into the report title area, or the report header. If I slip into design view, which I will in a minute, you'll see that. And I want it to be 14. And it's resized to fit. I want it to be, I don't want it to be bold, but when you resize to fit, sometimes you have a problem with it resizing too small, so that when you render the report for printer, it cuts off that last letter. So leave room for another letter, and I'm going to center that. Now I'm going to switch over to design view, and I want to bring this page header, excuse me, this report header title, and I want to bring it in and put it in the middle of my page header section. And what I want is these sizing handles to align up with 4, because my page is 8 inches. So if I get that in the middle, That's pretty close. It'll align. I'm going to take these three and I'm going to align them bottom. And that works. I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to come in to page, design here, grab my line. I'm going to come down below invoice date, hold down my shift key, and I'm going to drag out almost, but not quite, to 8 inches. The shift key allows me to create a straight line. It's going to have any crooked, it's not going to be crooks in it. I guess that's the best way to say that. Let's see how that looks. How many pages do I have? I have 25 pages in my report. That's a little too many, and most of that is coming from the detail section here. The problem with having these items still in a group, as they are now, is that I can't get it to move much more. And so it's going to be hard to get any more space out of that detail section. The only way I'm going to be able to do that is ungroup these items. And so I'll select one of them, and before I do that, I'll get rid of the page header, select one of them, and go to Arrange and Remove, and it's going to remove them all from the group. And I'll come down here and I'll select them. Now if I just press my cursor up key, it's going to move those items slightly to the right. Now that's okay if I do that for them and for the labels that they match up with and the totals, or I can undo that. I can hold down my control key and press my up cursor, and they don't snap to grid then when I try to move them. Now I can take out some space. Okay, the next thing that I want to do here is I'm going to have to add some lines in, and I can do that quickly by adding a line in above my sum. And I didn't take it end to end because what I want to do is now I want to use some controls here to arrange, and I want to make them the to widest. They're the same length, and then I want to make sure they align, and it looks like I should align them left and then align them right. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to select that line. I'm going to do Control C to copy it. I'll come down my report footer. I'll do Control V and a Control V. Select those two lines. I'm going to go to vertical distance decrease, and then I'll select my sum here, and I'm going to do right. And I'm going to also hold down my Control key to move this up a little bit. And when I go into my report layout, I've got 23 pages. It's looking pretty good. I'll go back here, and I could probably take out some more room in this, and it'll be even smaller still. The last thing I want to do is fix the paid. I'm going to center that, and I'm going to grab this checkbox, and I'm going to bring it in a little bit, and it's going to give the semblance that it's centered. Okay, I could probably fine-tune that a little bit, but I'm out of time here. And now we're down to 20 pages. So that's the end of this segment. Hope you enjoyed fast report writing.